Good afternoon, Mr. Effendi. My name is Jensen Marshall, and the topic for our team that we will be touching about is sustainable transportation. But before we can move on, there are a few concepts that we need to learn about. For example, what is sustainable development? Basically, sustainable development is to develop our society without compromising nature for future generations. Nature that we have right now, for example, animals and flora, have been compromised due to many activities such as overforesting, which have harmed the habitats of the animals and causing them to go extinct. So that is only one of the reasons why the need for sustainable development. And other than that, our current method of acquiring resources are harming the planet, such as in the form of wastage and carbon footprint, and many others. For example, the fresh water that is used currently is over 70%. And our primary electricity generation is by fossil fuels. It is over 63% in 2019 alone for the total of the world's primary electricity generation. And lastly, what is carbon footprint? Basically, carbon footprint is the total amount of greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, which are generated from our actions, which is why we chose the topic for sustainable transportation, which my partner will present in the next slide.
Assalamualaikum. Um, okay, thanks to my teammate. My name is Muhammad Lukman. Today I want to present about the meaning of sustainable transportation. The concept of the sustainable transportation is refers to transportation that is green and has low impact on the environment. It is also about balancing the current need and future needs. Why is it alternative? Sustainable transportation able to reduce traffic congestion. No, besides that, sustainable transportation also reduce air pollution and related risk. Then it it is also reduce the greenhouse gas emission. Not only that, sustainable transportation also reduce dependence on non-renewable energy sources. It is also increase physical activity and social interaction. The example for the sustainable transportation is such as walking, cycling, transiting, carpooling, car sharing, and green vehicles. That's all for me. Next, I will give to my teammates. That's all.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Jonathan, and now I will talk about the advantage and disadvantage of the sustainable transportation. First of all, the benefit of the sustainable transportation is promote health. Sustainable transportation like biking and walking will give us physical exercise, and this exercise will produce a zero emission. Besides in the exercise will help us to promote our body health. Besides that, next is the save energy. In this point is about the vehicle. When the vehicle stuck in the traffic jam, it was waste the fuel and create more emission through the constant starting and stop when the traffic is jammed. So when we use the public transport or walking and cycling, then we will save more energy consumption. Like we will use less of the oil. And other than that, okay, next is the advantage of sustainable transportation. In this advantage, it only has one point, which is the costly initial construction. Or as we know, when building a public transport like monorail or a bus, we need a lot of the initial cost. We build the buy the bus or buy the monorail. There And beside that, we also need a lot of money to build the infrastructure. So that's all my point, and I will pass to the next person.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Thank you to my teammates for explaining the previous slides. My name is Azam Asfar bin Abdul Karim, and I'll be presenting the comparison of sustainable transportation. The comparisons are in between the electrical car and conventional car. So first, the electrical car is powered by electricity and it refills at charging stations. These charging stations can be also houses or public areas. Unlike a conventional car, it is powered by petroleum and it can be only refilled at petrol pumps. Next, the electrical car is producing less carbon dioxide emissions than conventional car. Uh, in terms of cost, the electrical car has high upfront but lower maintenance costs, uh, rather than the conventional car has low upfront but high maintenance costs. In terms of performance, the electrical car has faster acceleration but low top speed. However, the conventional car has slower acceleration but high top speed. For the engine, the electrical car has quieter engine, unlike conventional has noisier engine. This shows that the conventional car produces noise pollution. So the electrical car is the best sustainable transportation. Uh, that's all. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So for the assignment, I will explain briefly about social benefit of the sustainable transportation. So firstly is we need by creates job. So by creates job, we can give opportunity to many people, which is also include in social benefit. So by creating job, investing in sustainable transportation often translate to the creation of more jobs. Building infrastructure to support public transit, developing greener alternatives to diesel fuel vehicles, and manning these new transport methods all provide job openings to those who desperate need them. So for the second part is provide safer transportation. So sustainable public transportation is also 10 times safer per mile than driving a personal vehicle into the city. Moreover, commuters can reduce their chance of being involved in a crash by more than 90% by hopping aboard public transit. However, if it isn't an option or is not within walking distance, people have no choice but to drive to work, school, and other location within metropolitan areas. So next is emits less pollution. So this transportation accounts for nearly 30% of greenhouse gas emission in the United States. So, however, about 82% of those emissions come from personal vehicles. So, based on my article, which I have made some research, this data is based on United States. So, bus and trains only account for a mere 6%, making these modes of transportation much greener than cars and trucks. So next is promote health. So because sustainable transit reduce emission and air pollution, it also promote community health. Currently, almost half of all Americans live in areas with air pollution level that exceed federal regulation limits. So if more commuters to public transit, pollution levels will drop dramatically, helping people breathe easier and live longer. And fifth is decrease the congestion. So naturally, when people choose sustainable transportation over driving themselves, congestion also decrease. This shortens commutes and reduce roadway stress for those who continue to use highway and city streets. And then by using the this public transport, we can also save energy, which is congestion relief can also contribute to overall energy savings. Vehicle truck in traffic with fuel and create more emission through constant starting and stopping. Even though in a single transit vehicle requires more energy than a personal one, the amount of energy used per passenger is less. Thus, public transport is recommend as well as walking and biking. So next is conserve land. So sustainable transportation also encourage compact development which reduce travel time between destination. While there may be more streets and paved areas in metropolitan areas, there is less in the suburbs and the land surrounding cities. This leaves more room for park, farmland and other green space. So, and lastly, by using the sustainable transportation, the benefit for Seychelles is also saves money. So, by investing in sustainable transit may be expensive in the beginning, especially when so requires building roads, purchasing bus and creating the proper infrastructure for transportation system. However, the investment is often worth the reward of economic and personal savings. Moreover, maintaining public transportation system is cheaper than maintaining road. So that is all for from me. Thank you.